things surely are getting strange. Hey guys, so this is my review for episode 3 of Westworld. Apologies for the lateness. I was on set until 10:30 last night, so I didn't have time, and I was just exhausted from a near 80-plus hour week. So, anyways, Episode 3. Episode 3 is so far my favorite one. Definitely. We are seeing so much more intricacy into the episodes and just the whole idea of the AI cognitive senses. Every time here's the thing. You have to understand, every time that they're asking these machines a question, technically they are challenging the limits of the AI cognitive. So every time we see a response, depending on what that response is going through its cognitive functions to trying to replicate that of a human being. Now, that is amazing. That is near impossible. It is impossible to do right now. So to see it being done on this show being as it is, it's really cool, and especially the conversations that Jeffrey Wright is having with Rachel Wood. We see that he is testing her. Every time she gives him a response, he's like, analysis, why did you ask me that? And the last question, the end of the episode, you're like, what is actually going on? We're actually starting to see that it's almost as though Wood's character is starting to have this sort of she's getting this kind of hack. Dolores is starting to see things. She's starting to see the weaves of the programming. She's starting to see the layers that are being hidden to her and to the hosts. The other part that I found was very interesting is James Marsden's character. We saw a lot more depth into him, and also why he dies. He's basically bred to fail, and that was something that was really cool that Anthony Hopkins pointed out. So now he's given him a backstory, and then he went off with this guest, and now they're in some sort of, he got beat up by people who were, I don't know, all in all these weird ass costumes and everything. But the number one thing anyone should have taken away from that episode is the fact that when that guest guy, the nerdy guy, got shot, he fell to the ground. He took pain. Ed Harris hasn't done that. He just wipes it off as though nothing happens. Is he just really buff? Or is he not just a guest? He's something entirely different. Those people in the hoods were also something entirely different. Again, they didn't get shot to the ground. So that was probably the biggest thing that this episode showed, was that guests can get shot. They won't die, but for a realism sort of perspective, they fall to the ground. Unless this is something that you can get in the experiences, you can basically be a god. And speaking of gods, she heard that voice, right? When she shot Trevor from GTA 5. Who saw? Was he in the first episode? I can't remember, but that's awesome. Trevor was in this episode, and he was exactly as great. Right when I heard his voice, I was like, is that Trevor? So again, very interesting episode. Lots of interesting layers, some cool gunfights. Again, the stunts, that horse stunt where it falls backwards, amazingly well done. And again, I like that the layers that are being shown and that the hosts are starting to unveil the layers. And we also figured out something about Anthony Hopkins having a previous business partner, and that his previous work was the final bit of the pyramid is possibly starting to break through. Maybe Anthony Hopkins finally finished it and he's trying to implement it. Anyways, I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 7. It's a really good episode. I enjoyed it, and I definitely hope you guys do too. I'm hoping to be a lot more timely with this episode depending on when we get off work this Sunday. Anyways, that's all from me. See you guys next time.